Number one Ibble Dibble here. Hello, friends, and welcome to a very special episode of Ibble Dibble, where I watch the Netflix show and tell you what I think about it. So far, they've released 3 episodes, but this video is chatting only about the first episode. Right at the jump, 15 seconds in, this message sets the tone for, I'm assuming, the whole series. Pretentious and grammatically questionable. Who calls Instagram photos, text messages, and cell phone videos personal archive? Why does personal archive not have any sort of article or possessive? Whose personal what? I also really like this disclaimer because it shows the royal family has closed rank. If you can't even get Zara or Jack Brooksbank to say a kind word, you're over. The episode opens up with diarizing, confessional type videos, supposedly filmed by Meghan and Harry respectively on March 10th and 11th, 2020. To take you back in time, their final official royal engagement was on March 8th, where Meghan attended church dressed like the Grinch, even though the dress code was red, white, and blue for the Commonwealth service.
Like, how did we end up here?
I don't even know where to begin.
Neither do I, but let's start with the piano music. You did not endure a terrible tragedy. You quit your job and moved into your dream house with many millions of dollars from your dad. Shut the fuck up.
My job is to keep my family safe. Hate that has been stirred up in the last 3 years, especially against my wife. I'm genuinely concerned for the safety of my family.
So Harry doubles down on all the things he wants us to believe from our chat about trailer number 2. He left the greater royal family because his nuclear family was in danger. He'd like us to believe physical, but they take every opportunity to conflate physical and reputational. Then he gets wacky.
This is about duty and service, and I feel as though being part of this family, it is my duty to uncover this exploitation and bribery that happens within our media.
This interests me not because I believe there's any abusive exploitation and bribery happening. I think the only bribery happening is Meghan bribing Pops to come take pictures of her unbeknownst to Harry. But I am very curious to learn more about his paranoid worldview.
This isn't just about our story. This has always been so much bigger than us.
This does not represent what London stands for.
Control of this country.
No one knows the full truth. We know the full truth. The institution knows the full truth, and the media know the full truth because they've been in on it.
Are you trying to imply no one likes your wife because she's an immigrant? Speaking of immigrants, and I do not mean that in a negative way, I do not mean that as a slur, let me be crystal clear. Someone is being raised by a Caribbean nanny and not his mother.
How would you describe it, Archie?
Oh, it was beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Why did you want to make this documentary?
When you feel like people haven't gotten any sense of who you are for so long. It's really nice to just be able to have the opportunity to let people have a bit more of a glimpse into what's happened and also who we are.
I like more than jets, I like more than sex, but nothing in this world that I like more than checks.
A friend of ours actually suggested that we document ourselves through this period of time. With all of the misinformation that was going on out there, especially about us and the departure, it seemed like a really sensible idea.
She take my money when I'm in need.
Okay, I'm done.
We've been really conscious of protecting our kids as best as we can and also understanding the role that they play in this really historical family.
I think consent is a really key piece to this. That if you have children, it should be your consent as to what you share.
No, dumbass. It should be their consent, and it should be given at the age of legal consent, if at all possible. How did you live through this and yet fail to understand it? The remainder of the hour-long program, as Trixie Mattel would say, I really hope Trixie and Katya watch this. Spends 21 minutes with Harry either complaining about his admittedly excellent childhood.
My childhood, I remember, or was filled with laughter, filled with happiness, and filled with adventure.
Or people explaining why being a royal is so very difficult.
When you actually put it under pressure and you say that there is a family anointed by God, by blood, to rule over this country and other countries around the world, it's a difficult conversation to have.
21 full minutes on their boring love story. And it is boring. TLDR, they met over Insta. They claim to have fallen in love on their second date.
This is a great love story. And the craziest thing is that I think this love story is only just getting started.
And then came age. I mean, he literally, talk about a plot twist.
I apologize for my cynicism, but it doesn't sound like the height of maturity and healthy skepticism.
Tale as old as time.
No, wait a minute.
6 minutes on absolutely nothing. Literally, mood music over stock footage or incoherent rambling like this. To say anymore. And 4 minutes on the circle of life in Africa.
I may not know about Lesotho, and I'm here to learn.
For all of the self-aggrandizement and self-mythologizing, they really come off as vapid and dense, and it's kind of funny.
Which is so weird because it wasn't exciting in the way that I think people would assume that it would be.
The over-reliance on amateur editing, stock footage, and an epic soundtrack has the reverse effect of really highlighting their total lack of substance. Although, I'll give them a little credit for being mildly self-aware. Perhaps they did it this way to avoid getting analyzed by the body language guys. There were only 4 little nuggets here I found interesting. First, this.
I met Harry at Eton at age 13. We were actually the rooms next door to each other, so we could lean out the window and talk with after lights out.
Well, that's a relief. I genuinely didn't think he had any childhood friends left.
For me, I've seen a boy grow to a solid man. We even gave him a name, actually. I mean, a Sesotho name, Mahale, which means warrior. Harry is the warrior in spirit, and he's a warrior in character.
Princeso, come get your boy and remind him to pick his battles.
I remember thinking, how can I ever find someone who is willing and capable to be able to withstand all the baggage that comes with being with me?
Spoiler alert, you didn't.
So when I got to meet Em, I was terrified of her being driven away by the media, the same media that had driven so many other people away from me.
Oh, Harry, little did you know she loves the media. She was just looking for any famous English guy. You'll certainly do.
She describes herself as mixed race.
Straight out of Compton, from the wrong side of the track.
Just a very different type of person that I don't think your average member of the public thinks of when they think of royal family.
Where like, it's all foreign to me, but I trust that you'll keep me safe and you'll get me through it.
And there we have it. As soon as she knew she had him hooked, she convinced him that he wasn't a man, and he certainly wasn't a husband or father if he let anybody criticize her, fairly or unfairly. This episode predictably ends with some ominous bullshit about the press.
Naively, I didn't know what I was walking into. But in October of 2016, when suddenly everything changed.
Whereas someone like Meghan is very much a deviation.
Has lured Harry away
Duchess of
from us.
Sussex
Meghan seems to be a version of the Antichrist.
They think they're leaving it on some sort of chilling note, but honestly, their stupidity beggars belief. They keep showing scrolls and stills of Twitter and tabloids. Do they not realize that this is not the mainstream? Adults read The Economist, The Times, The Guardian, The Atlantic, and take those with a grain of salt. Grow up, you two. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.